Hello guys, Dan here from Dan's Tech, and in today's video guys I'm going to be bringing you Q&A number 15. Yes, we've got 15 episodes of these up to now. So yeah, in today's video guys, going to be answering all your guys' questions that you posted in Q&A number 14, and I've also got some from, some videos like my, how to build a PC 2015, which now has like 120k views. That's, brilliant. Anyways, can I jump into it? So first question is from Adam. What do you think of a Xeon instead of i5/i7? Now, the way I see it, a Xeon is not just a server chip. A Xeon is essentially, an i5 or an i7 just without integrated graphics. And to be honest, if you guys are gaming and stuff like that, a Xeon is not a bad thing necessarily. A Xeon chips, some of them are pretty damn cheap. They don't have the integrated graphics. They run cooler because they don't have that, and some of them are pretty cheap. So if you are considering a Xeon over say an i5 or an i7, go for it. Go buy one. Go grab yourself a high-end graphic card, and that's it. Go for it. The only negative thing I can say about a Xeon is that you can't really overclock them because they don't have unlocked multipliers. They aren't designed to be overclocked, say like the KSQs of say i5s or i7s. But yes, a Xeon is not a server chip, and if you wanting to use it for gaming, go for it. That's what I'm gonna say. So next question is from Jake. Hi Dan, can you please answer this question for me? I'm going to build my gaming PC, and I want to keep all my files and data which is on this PC onto my new one. How would I do this? Would I just take the hard drives and put them into the new one? Now, you can't just unplug all your drives, build a new PC, shove them all in. Now, you can do that for hard drives that say have games on, say Orange or Steam games, or say just files in general. But any drives that have an operating system on, a program files and stuff like that. Yeah, you need to format that drive, reinstall an operating system, get all the drivers for that motherboard installed. Install your graphic card driver, say for your NVIDIA or your AMD GPU, and yeah, once you've done that, I would then recommend plugging in your hard drives with all say your games on and all your files. So yeah, you will need to reinstall your OS and install all of the drivers. But in terms of all your drives with with games on, yeah, you can plug them in a little bit later once you've say installed Steam and Origin. Tell them that them drives are where your games are, and yeah, it'll go from there. It'll recognize them all, and that's it. You won't need to download 100 gigs of games, because I don't know about you, but I have like 600-700 gig of games, and to download that it's like about a week. So yeah, we'll keep it there. Right, so next question is from 8TOA. Hey Dan, kind of unrelated. I want to build a PC with a GTX 770 in, and once it starts to struggle later down the line, I want to put another one in for SLI. Good thinking. Is it worth forking out for an i7 6790K? Are they out? A 6790K? I think you say like a 4790K, but anyway, we'll carry on. So what was it? Yeah. Forking out for the i7 and water cool it or not, basically. I don't want a bottleneck, but I don't want to overspend. If you are gaming with say one GTX 770, an i5 is completely fine. I would even go as far as saying that even with two GTX 770s, you can still get away with a high-end i5. Is it the 4690K, I think? That is a pretty damn good i5. You can overclock it as well. And yeah, you've got to remember, video games require a GPU. At the end of the day, well, what is a video game? Simulated graphics, essentially. You've got to think. Your CPU does send instructions to the GPU, and your GPU is the thing that needs to be very, very fast, have loads of cores. Your CPU is not that important. Since I do a lot of video editing, I have an i7, and that is good for gaming. But when you look at say the CPU utilization, you've only got like 30 to 50% CPU utilization, because you don't need 8 cores for gaming. I know the 4790K has, 8 cores, it's hyper-threaded and everything, but you don't need that for gaming. You really don't. An i5 can get you, an i5 can get you gaming, especially with multiple graphic cards. So, just say including with multiple graphic cards. So if you want my advice, get an i5, get a good cooler, grab even a Fortis 3 or a Hyper 212 Evo, do whatever you want to. Get your 770, later down the road, yeah, if you want more FPS and games, want to increase some visual settings, go for it. Grab another 770 and that's it, be fine, and it will keep up. Your i5 will be able to deliver all the instructions to both of them cards. Yes, definitely. There we are. And the next question is from Cheeky Mangoes on PC. You rambled a little bit here, but essentially, you've been on Amazon and the good old calculator app inside of Windows, and yeah, you want to find out, what good parts to put on the PC. But essentially, the question you asked here is, would I recommend, what type of liquid cooler would I recommend for an i7 4790K? So a 4790K, if you want to go liquid cooling, I would recommend a Corsair liquid cooler like the H100. Is it the GTX, the brand new one that they've just released? I know they've got loads of coolers. Corsair, it's ridiculous. They sell loads of liquid coolers now that they don't actually make air coolers. Corsair once did make air coolers, but yeah, just go on Corsair's website, pick a cooler that is in your price range. Look at some of the specs. If you wanted to do some serious overclocking, I would recommend grabbing a cooler where it's got a really long radiator where it can fit multiple fans on, say 220mm or say 240mm fans, and yeah, go on Amazon, buy it, done. That's it. Do some overclocking, and yeah, you'll feel the speed. Yes. Water coolers are really, really good for overclocking. Water is just an absolute genius at grabbing that heat from the processor and the fans, blowing it away via the radiator. It's just genius. So yeah, grab yourself something like a H100 GTX, whatever Corsair's calling them these days, and yeah, that's it. If you aren't wanting to spend that much, grab something like a H70, H80, H90, something like that. Yes, the H9 is pretty good. I used to have that. It had a 140mm fan, and to be honest, that was pretty damn good considering the radiator wasn't that big. And our next question is from, let's have a look, Richard Sheriff. Do you think a static wristband should be worn and not a leather coat, and especially fitting anything to the motherboard, have a static bag underneath just for some safety? So I'm guessing you're taking a little dig at me here on my how to build a PC video with me wearing a leather coat and not wearing a static wristband. Now, I live in the UK, I don't know where you live, but in the UK, static electricity is not a problem at all. Not a problem at all. You are more likely going to damage a component from, forcing it in or just getting a dead part. Brian over at Tech Yes City here on YouTube, he did a little experiment, rubbing his feet onto the carpet, trying to shock ram and everything. And, one thing I will conclude is that you really can't kill components with static electricity. You would need to get a really, really big amount of static electricity to kill something, to kill like a RAM module or shock something on your motherboard. Very, very hard to do. And if I were you, just don't really worry about static electricity. Just focus on placing components in, say, a motherboard correctly, safely, not forcing anything in, and just making sure you don't throw components around the room. As for me wearing a leather jacket, is that wrong with leather jacket? You've got to remember, with static electricity, whenever you touch something that's metal, typically large, say like a computer power supply or a case, that's going to be discharging you. And when you're building a PC, you're always forever touching that case and that power supply. So yeah, you should have nothing to worry about really. Yeah, that's about it. Static electricity is not a problem. It really isn't. So yeah. Anyway, next question is from Lep Kim. Once you place your thermal paste, do you have to do it again from time to time, or is one time enough? Now, I've never changed thermal paste. I've only ever applied it once, even on builds where I've kept them for many years. Now, my current PC here, because I'm swapping out coolers all the time, you do need to apply thermal paste each time you put a cooler on, but essentially thermal paste these days is good enough to last, say, 3, 4, even 5 years. And it's only after about 4 or 5 years that you might see temperatures go up by single digits. But if you do want to change your thermal paste, say after 5 years, when it gets a little bit dry, go for it. You're only going to be taking off like 2-3 degrees. Yeah, if that's important to you, go ahead. But yes, typically one application is good for many years, and really good thermal paste like the Arctic MX4 that I really do swear by. It's a really good thermal paste that'll last for ages, like 6-7 years. It really will. Good thermal paste that. So yeah, only need to apply it once. That's the one. So next question is from Bents on. This was posted a month ago. Hi, does RAM, motherboard and other stuff with different brands come with the same dimensions? I mean, if I want to change some parts, will I buy another motherboard that fits? I'm not so sure what you mean here, but all computer components follow, they're all kind of interchangeable. If you buy Mushkin RAM, you buy Corsair RAM, you buy Crucial RAM, it's all going to fit in a motherboard that supports DDR3. So yeah, you don't need to worry about it. They all follow standards, and yes, memory will go in the slot where memory is going to go. One thing you do want to make sure is that if you're buying a motherboard with DDR3 memory, you know, that's supported, you want to buy, you know, DDR3 memory. If you're buying a motherboard that supports, say, Haswell CPUs, you know, you want to make sure you don't get a CPU that's, you know, say Ivy Bridge, for example. So that's kind of about it. You know, in terms of GPUs, all GPUs now are PCI Express. They'll fit in the motherboard just fine, and that's kind of about it. Yes, all components will fit in different motherboards, and all brands, yeah, they do follow the same kind of you know, dimensions in terms of where to plug it in. Some RAM is tall, some graphic cards are really, really long, but typically they'll all fit in the board, and yeah, you won't need to buy another motherboard, so that's all good. And the next question is from Uber Penguin. I didn't quite understand why you had the fan pull air out of your water cooler rather than blowing in. I know you explained it, but I didn't get it. Can you go into more detail? So this is a question from my guide on how to build a PC. Now, when I installed the H90 liquid cooler, the Corsair manual did say that I should have the air coming from, you know, the outside of the case, the cold air, moving through the radiator and into the PC. That way, the cool air goes through the radiator, and that the water that's cooling the CPU is, you know, getting the coldest it possibly can, you know, from getting the coldest air from the back of the case. That's what it would recommend. In my case, yes, I did have the fan blowing the air out. Now, that would result in higher CPU temperatures, but one thing you've got to remember is that if a component is ever going to thermal throttle, what is it going to be realistically? Realistically, if a component's going to get hot and thermal throttle, it's going to be the GPU. So in my case, I wanted the air to be out so that my GPU would be a little bit cooler. CPU will be a little bit hotter, but at the end of the day, we're using a water cooler, so it's going to be pretty cool as it is. So hope that you know, kind of explanation helps, and yeah, and that, you know, kind of helps you guys making a decision if you want, you know, a fan on a radiator, pulling cool air in, or pushing the air out. So yeah, to be honest, it's CPU temperature or overall case temperature. It's up to you, but now you know. So that's about it, I think, for questions for today. Yep, you know, I've gone into, you know, quite a lot of stuff, you know, thermal paste, motherboards and stuff. So yeah, all good. Also, I will say the gaming PC builds are returning on Monday for you guys that want to be building, say, PCs in November and December. And yeah, if you guys that don't know, I do the PC builds it's about every 5 months, where, you know, I do choose a lot of parts at a given price point, say, you know, it's £300 or £400. Yeah, I do grab all the physical components for you guys, make a video on it, going over all the specs, and yeah, I do guarantee compatibility for all them parts, and I do take into consideration, you know, what parts are really good in terms of price to performance, because that's pretty important, especially if you're buying, well, especially if, you know, you're building a PC that's, you know, typically lower cost, say £300, £400, £500, and yeah, you know, it enables you guys to get, you know, 100% compatibility. I do, you know, guarantee compatibility with all the components I choose, and that to, you know, quite a lot of you guys is very important, and yeah, you do appreciate the fact that I do that. Anyhow, yes, I'm going to kind of tune out. Thank you for watching. Yeah, please feel free to leave some comments in the comment section, and you know, if you guys do have any questions, you know, do post them, and I will get back to you in Q&A number 16. There we are. Anyway, guys, thank you very much for watching. Please feel free to like, comment, and also subscribe. And yeah, I'll see you guys in my next video. Goodbye.